Hey guys, this is Frozen Things News here, and welcome back to another movie review. And welcome back to my James Cameron movie reviews leading up to Avatar: The Way of Water. And for this movie review, well, I've gotten two masterpieces out of the way, but yeah, right now we're gonna be talking about one of the lesser known James Cameron movies. Probably the one that no one really talks about. When you think about James Cameron, this is probably the last thing to come on the people's minds. And this movie I am reviewing now is The Abyss. So The Abyss is came out in the year 1989, which is probably one of my favorite years of the decade. It's either this one or 1985. I'm not sure. Probably 1985 since we got Back to the Future and Breakfast Club, but this one's up there as well. I mean, that year we had Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, which is my favorite movie of that year, and we also got Batman. And so yeah, basically the Abyss. It stars Ed Harris, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, and Michael Biehn, and some others. And basically it tells a story of this nuclear submarine. Well, nuclear submarine that has sank on like the bottom of the ocean, like this the very bottom, and then Navy SEALs have been hired to look for search for the submarine, during their mission to find the submarine, they encounter aliens, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah. Yes, like what I said, The Abyss is one of the lesser known James Cameron movies because you don't really hear people like say that, like, think about this movie when they think of well, James Cameron. But yeah, I mean, maybe if you get an The Abyss, a modern version of The Abyss, I'd probably be down with it, or at least The Abyss sequel. But I don't think that happens since this is probably one of the probably the least known James Cameron movies. And yeah, James Cameron is like top tier directors right now. And I mean, James Cameron, he's directed some of the best the best and biggest blockbusters today that people will still remember. People still remember to this day, but no one really remembers that this film. Or I'm sure there's some who do, but yeah, like me, I remember that this movie existed. I just know that not many people talk about it. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I saw this film once. Like my dad shows to me like a few years ago. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was pandemic or not. If I saw it during the pandemic, but yeah, I saw it before. Yeah. And yeah. Now let's talk about my thoughts on the Abyss. And yeah, I gotta say, I liked it. I think it's a pretty great movie. However, I don't think that this is a masterpiece. I don't think that this is like one of the best James Cameron movies. In fact, I think this is the weakest James Cameron movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Even if this is his weakest film, I still love this. As there is no such thing as a bad James Cameron movie. That's kind of why I'm not watching that Piranha movie, because I don't want to see a bad James Cameron movie, or at least one that's underwhelming. Well, underwhelming Cameron movie fine, but bad Cameron movie no. The Abyss is still a great movie. But yeah, I think that's kind of why this movie isn't well known, because it, it, it really is his weakest film, and probably like one that I don't have much to say. So this may be one of my shortest reviews, but let's see how much I have to say. Maybe it can surprise me, but yeah. Now let's talk about some of my let's get some of my issues out of the way first. Like my flaws and why I think this is the weakest James Cameron movie. First of all, I think the thing that affects this movie the most for me is the story. I mean, I just couldn't really connect with the story. I mean, the premise is very simple. Navy SEALs trying to recover a submarine, and then they discover aliens. Well, no, there's more to the story than that. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate this movie for being complex, so like having a very complicated story. I love stories that challenge you, stories that are very complicated. But I don't know. I just couldn't this was like really confusing. Like I just couldn't really get into the story. Like I don't understand this. I mean, this feels like like trying to understand the story feels like reading a novel, and I I'm okay with novels, but I'm not really a novel person. I mean, if I were to write my own novel, then I'd be down for that. If that's what my career would be. But yeah, trying to get the story. Yeah, listening to the story is the equivalent of reading a novel. I mean, I admire the story, but I just couldn't get into it. I mean, yeah, novels are really boring. It's just so boring to read them. I can tell, but this movie isn't really boring though. Yeah, I think that's probably my only issue is that the story wasn't really for me. Like I didn't really like the story that much, but everything else about the abyss is really good actually. Nothing really mind blowing, but I liked it. Yeah, where do I start with this? This is an action film movie. Like this movie has a lot of tension. It does have a lot of action. So yeah, at least this movie tries hard not to bore. I mean, there's like really good action and well as um even if it's not really action movie, it's more of a tension filled suspenseful like movie or like a it's not as action, it's not like the fighting type. Like I'd say like more of the destructive action. Like Titanic or like how it is in Titanic or something. And yeah, I think the score is really underrated as well. The music, like very underrated score. No one talks about it. I think it deserves more credit. And I think the characters are really good. Now there were some characters I didn't really connect with, but the two lead characters, or at least three of them, Ed Harris, the female character, and Michael Biehn, Mary Elizabeth, whatever. But yeah, those three are the standouts here. They're actually really good characters, and you actually do care about them. And the performances are top notch as well. This is Ed Harris's best performance he's ever been on. I mean, Ed Harris has done a lot of roles lately. Oh wait, actually, I okay, well yes, I was gonna say Top Gun Maverick, but it's his true best performance. But let's be real, he only appeared in one scene in that film, and so I can't really say it's his best film in Top Gun Maverick. His best performance if he only appeared in one scene. He was the lead character, therefore I think he is this is his best performance. I mean, this movie does have some emotional like scenes as well, especially with the Ed Harris and his female character, Mary Elizabeth or whatever. I can't pronounce the last name. It's hard. Yeah, a little bit. I actually read off on the internet when I had to like say her name like earlier in the video, but I'll just say Mary Elizabeth or something something. Yeah, that female character is probably like the standard of the movie, the best character. I mean, she really does have great acting and some really like very emotional like impact on her character, especially like with her relationship with Ed Harris. I really like that. The underwater effects looks really ahead of its time. It looks really good now. Not like the best visuals ever put to film, but it's still like really good. I mean, I would agree that some of the alien designs look outdated, but this came out in the 80s, so I can forgive that. But I love the underwater effects, especially like this world where like they go into this world where the aliens originate from, and my god, it looks so colorful, man. It reminds me of Aquaman, but less overstuffed. I mean, it reminds me of Aquaman's visuals. So, um, yeah, I think the final 30 minutes was perfect. I will say, I think the final act of the movie was pretty perfect. So overall, The Abyss is the weakest James Cameron movie. And consider that James Cameron is one of the greatest directors, or at least right up there with Chris Box slash Jennifer Lee, Nolan and Spielberg. This movie shows that James Cameron is a master of blockbusters. Like he can still like have his weakest film be good. Yes, it's not a film it's not a film that people would remember. It is I said this many times. It is James Cameron's least known film. So, and right now this is the only James Cameron movie that isn't really a masterpiece. So yeah. And yeah, although while this, well, I do admire and respect what this movie is trying to do, and it has some really top notch stuff to it. I couldn't really get into the story. The story just wasn't really my thing. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna give The Abyss an A out of 10, a low A out of 10. So also for my review of The Abyss, what is your opinion of this movie? Do you agree with me that this is the weakest James Cameron movie? And what do you think is the weakest James Cameron movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of Die Hard. And Guillermo, and tomorrow we got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Yes, tomorrow I'm not gonna watch any James Cameron movies or rewatch because we got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio coming tomorrow, and oh boy, stay tuned for my next James Cameron review will be on Saturday, and it's gonna be on right now my favorite James Cameron movie ever, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So yeah, bye guys.